Hey Gaga, welcome in. Hope you're having a nice Monday evening. Today is gonna be a bit of a weird one. We are not really gonna play the game. We're just gonna look at a lot of different maps and trying to understand what exactly we wanna spend our time on after Los Vagos. It's a bit of a learning process. I think part of the work we've done is pretty much unusable. Because I guess I do want to focus on the US maps, as I said, mainly due to the ease of me getting good and accurate data from those US maps. I would still like to have a bit of a look at the locations that I've been talking over and we've been looking at. For example, this, I'm not sure if you can, hold on. In the editor, there is something I really don't like. I'm gonna have to get a, hold on, color picker real quick. Because the boundary lines in the editor are very hard to see, especially on our weird desert theme. So I'm using this mod, but I have to reset it every single time. Because I'm not using simple mods checker on my editor place it, which I guess I should, because then we could save this, but let's do this again. Now we should see the boundaries better, because I do think it's a bit confusing in the scale in the editor, because everything looks gigantic, right, if you look at the area, but then our playable area is a lot smaller than everything we can see. So I think it's really important to show the boundaries, but now have a look again, because I think when I send you all of the locations I'm considering at the start, I think you quite literally said that you would like Parker Strip. This is Parker Strip, so one of your choices that you at least said you would like. And I do quite like it as well. I think it's a bit too flat for what I want. And obviously this is a pretty low quality map. All of the maps we're gonna look at today are not amazing in quality. We're gonna look at a few better ones. But the general vibe of this is a starting square, this, and then this outer one here is a buildable area. So this is a buildable area, and then everything outside of this is just pretty much backdrop, right? I think maybe it's even easier to look at it like this, right? Because this is the part of the map that counts. This is where we're building on. This is the entire playable area, and then this part I'm adding here. This is the surroundings, right? I also was surprised, I have to admit. I've never really looked into maps, right? So for me, this is a pretty big learning process. So quite a bit of the things I've been checking out are irrelevant. Because really, if you look at this in Google Maps, then this looks like way too little buildable area, right? But then in the map, I think the scale is a lot different. Because if we, I don't know, I think for me, it really matters to take a building sometimes. I don't know, one of those signature buildings. This is a giant building, right? An absolute giant building. It's not that big in here. I think it helps to put this into perspective, at least for me. It always helps, because if you don't see the building, this seems a lot smaller than it actually is. So it's part of why I think for me it's been so helpful to get those into the game, right? Because I'm gonna show you around a bit on different options. And then the first thing first, why a lot of this is irrelevant, I want to show this is a broken map that I made shortly before stream, and I did not, whoops, hold on. Actually, we wanna get a new map instead, because we don't want we don't want a heat map, we only want a world map. I'm just showing this, even though it's very broken, for the quality, right? Because this will explain to you why I want to stay in the US, right? Because this is the amount of quality in terrain that I can get from the good maps, right? And if you look at this also explains pretty well why I'm saying I don't want to handcraft, right? Because this is just not doable. This is not possible to get to this level of detail and quality with our terraining tools. It's just not something we can do. But then look at it. Like really, in this, what looks low quality is the map theme, because you can see the pixel in it. But if you look at the quality of these maps, this is exactly why I've been talking so much about data sources. Because if you compare this to one of the lower quality maps, for example, this is Frisco. We can literally go, that's a Frisco map as well. This would be the counterpart to it. See, it's still not bad, right? Like this is one of the lower quality maps. The difference is not immensely, but I do think it's very noticeable. Yes, I did use different ones. It took me quite a long. Elgendo taught me that, to be honest. I did not know that we have all of those different terraforming brushes. And yes, the peak brush, I think it's called, is really interesting and very accurate in comparison, but it's still nowhere near the level of accuracy that even the low quality maps can do, right? Like even this, I would say, is higher quality than anything you can terraform by hand. But then if you compare this again to a high quality one, what we want to do later, this is the quality we can get with a really good maps. This is just not doable, right? Like look at this amount of detail here with these stretches. There is no way you can do that manually. Obviously, these are not perfectly fitting because one is a low quality one is a high quality one. So obviously this is a bit of a hit and miss. I just wanted to show this for the quality so you guys get a better idea of why I care so much about high quality data, because it allows us to get very high quality maps. And welcome in, Andy. Maybe you have good ideas for what we're doing today. I know you're from Canada and not from the US, but we are doing very weird things today and looking at many locations. In fact, probably it's gonna be one of the few times that I'm gonna switch quite a bit between Google Maps, which should show for you guys. At the game, which is not common, I've been sorting a lot of places and I've been looking at a lot of places and trying to figure what the next map after Los Vagos could be. And it has been a bit of a learning lesson, because the more I learn about map making, the more I sadly think a place like this is not the best for me, because I won't get really accurate data for it. But I think it's still interesting to have a look at these places as inspiration for what we want. I already found a better, or I'm already looking at new places in the US where we can get good data, but let's see. Well, for the very first map, I'd like to stick to the US just because the US is the very easiest place to get good leader data from. There is other places, but the most straightforward way is in the US, so we're gonna stay with that for the start. And welcome in, Shane. Nice to see you. But generally, what we're looking for our maps is pretty simple. And maybe some of you has good ideas for the US as well. Because what I want our maps to all have in common is fairly little playable area. This already is one of the maps with a lot of playable area. And then we want a lot of mountains and elevation to work around, and preferably a rail and a water connection. The rail is not that important, we can just make that by ourselves. I'm not gonna build after Google Maps anyways, we're just looking after the terrain really. But the water connection I do really care about. And Andy, I don't really mandatorily care if desert, but yes, I have to admit, just because I said in my Discord, my real life already is grass theme. So I don't want to build in the grass. We can build maybe not as deserty as we are right now, but generally still quite dark, right? This is a great place. This is a really sad place because Frisco has been a recommendation by Konst, and this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. This would have this nice lake in the middle, multiple towns around it, and a lot of terrain. Really, this place has everything we want. The problem with this is the following. This is where I'm gonna get my elevation data from later on. And if we go here, the elevation data we care about is the 1 meter DEMs. Sadly, there is quite a lot of holes in this data. Especially the area of Nevada is really broken, and then a lot of the part of Colorado is broken, and quite a bit of Arizona. Sadly, this is literally hit by that. So I can get most of the elevation data of this area. But then if we look in game, that's exactly what we did here. This is what's happening. This is what happens because I'm running out of data. This is not that I didn't finish the map or anything. This is because right here, where we see this hard barred border in the map, this is quite literally where we... Hold on, need to switch source again. But where we're running out of data, not here, but here, right? Because we're in this cutout, or in this cutout, I think is where Frisco is. But anyways, this sadly makes us a bit dependent on where we can get the data from, right? And I will have to look around a lot, and Jay's tip is quite good, that national parks, I think, are a good location. But any point that we find interesting, we afterwards have to cross-reference in this map and see if we can actually get the data we want from it. Because sadly, we will have to work around this availability, which it's pretty good, honestly. If we hide and show it, then he loads it in again. It's a bit buggy. But if you look at the US like this, yes, it is pretty good coverage. Sadly, the coverage is exactly bad in the states that I find the most interesting. Colorado, Arizona, and Nevada, together with Utah, are probably the most interesting states for me. And especially in these states, we're getting a bit of issues with the coverage. But yes, I also, again, I love Colorado. This is probably visually my favorite area of the US, together with Arizona. The coverage in Colorado is not horrible, right? So it's not like we can't use Colorado, but we have to cross-reference afterwards if we have coverage in that area or not. If we don't, then sadly it's a location we cannot really use. Not the biggest issue, but means we have to check this website quite a bit more than I would like to. And I'm gonna keep going over the places we have so far a bit, just to give you a better idea of what we're looking for, because I think there's been quite a bit of variance as well. I have to admit as well that no, I'm not set on it can't be grass. And especially with texture replacer, I think most green parts look good in the desert as well, right? It depends a bit on the mountain. I think I cared less about the climate than about the mountains, right? This structure here, if you put this, what we were looking at right now, into a desert theme, this will look like a perfect, appropriate dry mountain. But then some mountains won't. This one, for example, I'm not too sure about if this would look great in a desert theme. But this, for example, is a very interesting place as well, because sadly the satellite images here are actually quite bad. These very dark shadows here, that's fjords, right? We're close to the ocean here, and this is all fjords going very deep inland. What I find very interesting about this is how little buildable area it had, right? Because we would quite literally build down here and then in this canyon, which, again, it looks little, but it's not that little if we have a look at this, because all of the things we're looking at right now, we can look at in-game, at least in low quality. I have most of them in-game in pretty low quality maps, but if we look at this in game, for example, this is quite interesting. Yes, these maps don't look great because the quality is so low on them, but I can make higher quality maps later, right? And this would be pretty interesting. The one reason I'm not too tempted by this is that I don't think I can realistically bring a rail connection in here. And I would really care about rail, but then this is it's too back and forth to really bring a rail through here, which I would like, so I would discard this one. I do think it quite well describes what I'm looking for, because most of the maps that we have on PDX at least seem very spacious and with a lot of open land, and I really want the opposite of that. I want very little open land. These are all great examples. Italy's coast in general has been great. I want to look around a bit as well how the data for Italy looks, because Italy is really interesting. If we can get good elevation data, then it's perfect, because this is pretty much my ideal scenario, where we have a river going through the middle and we have a bit of a canyon or area around it that is buildable, and then we have a lot of mountains around it. I have a lot of maps that look very similar to this, just because I find this super curious, allows a lot of work with bridges, allows a lot of work with harbor, while still really giving us little area and a lot of challenge with terrain. So these kinda... My internet just died. I hope I'm back. Yeah, sorry for that. My internet just entirely died on me. I hope the stream didn't entirely lag out, but... Yeah, I really like these. I totally exactly what you just said. We have a lot of those in similar vibes. It is probably my favorite kind of thing, besides something like this, right? Where you have an absolute gigantic lake, because then I also think we can work with it. The problem with this is that we're too far north. Like, this entire area here is so far up that it's very hard to get proper maps from this. And in general, I think this is something we're gonna struggle with for these areas. So look at these areas more as inspiration of what we want of the terrain. This, for example, again, really interesting, around the lake. Lets us get an outside water connection, has a lot of hills. Really difficult. But yes, Andy, if you have any suggestions, preferably from the US, but also Canada is fine, right? you will see yourself, like this, for example, is Canada, and we have a few other Canadian ones in here. I think the data in Canada is pretty complete as well. So I think if we really find a nice place in Canada, then that wouldn't be an issue for us either. This, for example, is stunning again, because then this is not ocean, but really, if it's a river slash lake that's this big, I don't mind at all. That is totally sufficient to me, and we could live with it, but it's difficult. I really think it's also, for me at least, important to look at these in-game, because they look quite different, right? For example, if we take this one and we look at it in-game, then the vibe is going to be a very different one. Again, ignore the low quality of these maps. We're going to get better ones later. But this is, for example, how the build we just looked at, or the location we just looked at, would look in-game. I think this makes a beautiful map, very interesting. So I will go over it. I'm gonna check that out in a moment. I'm gonna copy that. And welcome in, Brucey, nice to see you. And welcome in, the Rezara, also nice to see you. I think, sadly, I had to get rid of most of Rezara's picks in the end. One of your picks, Rezara, was in it for very long, and it was Ango the Rice, or Ango dos Rice, but it did not cut it in the end. Let's have a look real quick at what Jay suggested, because we'll keep collecting different locations. Again, sadly, we're gonna have to live with pretty much US exclusive places for now, just because it's the easiest one. I guess this is the right one. Let's have a look at if we like this. Nearly is a good suggestion. I can tell you what I don't like about it, James. This has too much flat buildable area. If we put this into the game, we can just wait. There is a really good website, and it's what you can do those low quality maps with. It's this. If we look at this in the area that we would get in game, god damn, I did not copy that well. But if we take the coordinates out here and put them onto terraining, this is the area, right? And the entire buildable square is this green one. So the majority of the entire map in what you're suggesting would be flat, right? It would just be this flat open space. And then yes, we have a little mountains on the outside framing it. But I'm just showing this so you guys understand the scale a bit better, because at least for me, this helped me a lot to understand better what I want, because it's too big. But yes, the area looks great, so you're not wrong. That often that has been helpful for me, right? This, for example, already looks more interesting on this side, this smaller area here, because this is gonna be a lot less open terrain, still too much open terrain for what I want. But yes, the lake actually does look interesting. These mountains here look beautiful. Yes, this is a very interesting place. I'm not too used to Google Earth or Google Maps yet, so I will probably navigate not as efficient, as quick as other people. But we'll get there eventually. This is kind of the vibe I'm looking forward to. This probably is the opposite. It's a bit too little flat area, right? Because these houses are all in the hills. So this might be a bit too complicated. Okay, center on the lake. I'm gonna have to catch up on chat really quick. Yeah, I want water, I want minimal building area, and I want a lot of elevation. I don't care so much about air travel, to be honest. Yes, if the map allows it and I have space for it, I don't mind. But I'm tempted to say probably I want a map that does not have space for an airport, so I don't think so. Or you mean in this? I mean, I guess so. You do make a point that this actually would be pretty interesting. But then it's pretty much all lake, right? Because this is all so terrainy, there is little buildable area. Then you really only have this very little outside. I like the vibe of this. I don't really love the cut of this. I'm gonna put this into, I'm gonna open another Google Earth tab, just because we have so many different projects. I'm gonna put this into this one here, where we have a lot of locations. And here I save all of them that I want to revisit, where I'm not sure about. In this list, it's pretty much only places that I consider to be so good that I actually have made a map of them and like how the heat map looks in game, because it explains it a bit better. But yeah, I mean, kinda. Not really. By now, I just want to find a single good place. But yeah, we've been mapping out a lot. And also, I'm gonna Google that. The problem is, I'm not sure if I think you were not here, Rezara. One of the reasons what I was talking about, and I'm gonna show it real quick again in... Oh, this looks interesting. I think the river is gonna... Oh, actually, no, this is interesting. I was gonna say the river is too small. I think this actually is too... This is the opposite. This is... Never mind. This is really nice. I'm gonna save this. The issue is I'm not gonna get proper data in China. So... I love this. Actually, really pretty place. But I will not get enough data. Because one of the things you sadly missed... And I'm gonna show you again, Rezara, why I'm saying this, is I want good data, right? Because this is how normal low quality maps look. And you see this terrain, right? This is pretty washed out and pretty soft, and it's okay, but it's not amazing. And then this is a half completed, but very... Uppsala, I imported it in the wrong map. We're gonna do that again and just ignore the buggy middle. But look at this. This is a map where I can get really accurate, high quality terrain data from. And I don't think I need to explain why I really care about the data, right? Because the difference in quality is night and day, right? Like this just is so crisp and so clear in comparison to, I don't know, any of the lower quality ones, like this one, for example. Amazing. Uppsala, I loaded them in the wrong way around. Amazing location, but you see how much worse the terrain is, right? And that's exactly why I care about the good data. We're gonna make these bad maps like this one to test quickly, because these are done really quickly. You can make those in a few minutes, and the other ones take a long time, so complicated. But this, for example, is a good example of what I like as a map, because this has loads of water and very little buildable area here, right? Again, the scale, at least for me, is really difficult to get right. So I'm again gonna show one of the industrial signature buildings. Doesn't really matter one. But yes, this looks really small. It's not that small, right? This is a gigantic building, and clearly this has more than a lot of space everywhere here. So this is a pretty good example of how much buildable area I would like. This is a bit too much water for my taste. I'd like a bit more terrain, but generally really, really nice location, right? And I think maybe it's more helpful if I don't just go over the real life places, but if I go over the favorite ones in game. I think the best single map that we have found so far, I keep importing them the wrong way around, is this. This is in Japan, I believe. It's a stunning place. It's literally the coast. Ignore the fog. This is just because we have a silly climate for what we want here. But this is the kind of map I would really like, right? Where you, in the backdrop, have these really amazing mountains. Again, the quality of this is not great, but we can make better maps later. And then we have ocean, but we have a lot of terrain to work around here, right? Very challenged, very interesting. And I think this is what I want. Now we have to find places that are very similar to what I'm showing you in the US. Because in the US, the truth is the data we can get is very easily accessible and very high quality. I'm gonna show you a few other ones, because this, for example, I also love this one. This is in New Zealand, I believe. It's pretty similar in vibe, right? You have a lot of mountains in the backdrop. Also, it's always important to understand this is the buildable area, right? All of the big part around it that is way bigger, that's just a backdrop. That is nothing we're gonna play on, right? So the part we have to judge the most as maps is this. And then this is nice if it looks good, but it's not super relevant for the gameplay experience. But then again, this one I really like because it is spacious enough. What I like less about this than the other one is that in a place like this, I would not really know how to bring in a rail connection. I guess we could just pretend it's coming out of the tunnel or something. And that makes it a bit more difficult, because preferably I'd like to bring rail along as well, right? And then, for example, in the other one where both of you just said that you find it really good, this one I think I could be able to bring rail through the back here, right? Through one of these places, then put a tunnel and then bring rail here from the back. It's not the end if we can't bring it back in, but I would be happy if we can, right? And just to give you a few more ideas, really, because for me, it makes such a big difference to see those places in game. This is one of my least favorites because it's a bit more boring, but they all follow a pretty similar vibe, especially the later ones. They're all kind of close to the coast with a lot of water and open place. And yeah, that's really what we're after the most. This one also super interesting, something fairly different, I would say. But also a great example because it has that high coast and it has those lower area here. And then I'm sure some of the people in my Discord seen the weird road in the cliffside I sent. That's literally here. That's this location where we're looking at, because they have a city down here in the bottom and then they have a second city up here. Really cool, really challenging in terrain, and makes a very interesting look. I'm not too set on something specific. I just care about water, difficult terrain, little buildable area, and then it has to be something that looks interesting to me. I want to check real quick the few things you suggested, just because I don't want to miss it. Oh, I hate it when I try to copy what Andy said. Twitch is putting something over it, but yeah, let's have a look at that real quick. And also here, I'm just gonna drop a single marker in this, so I'm gonna find it back Because yes, interesting area. I think this is a bit too steep for me. Because the truth is, while I want to be challenged from terrain, we cannot really perfectly build in terrain itself. So it's gonna be difficult. Is this super flat, or do we not have elevation 3D data? I think this is too flat, Andy. While this looks very interesting, if this is the correct place that I was supposed to go to. I'm still confused if this is us not having 3D. No, we have 3D data. This has depth. This is way too flat, sadly. Okay, hold on. I've lost orientation of where we are. So I guess closer to the mainland would be down here. But it's still comparatively flat. It looks like a crazy and interesting place, but not only is it covered in snow and ice, it's also so rocky in places like this that I don't know how I would put a proper city in here. Stunning place, but I don't think the place we're looking for. I'd like to see a city in here though. I mean, wholeheartedly, this is a pretty amazing vibe. Actually, Andy, I take everything back. This is super cool. This is another one I'm gonna save. The thing is, I'm fairly sure that this is so remote, I'm not gonna get proper data here, right? That is a bit the downside of being hungry for those really high quality maps is, oh god, I forgot to change the source. Yeah, thanks for that, Jay. My bad, I was driving around over here. Yeah, my bad. Absolutely my bad. This is a place I found, Andy, that looks very interesting. And off of your recommendation. But generally it's fairly flat if we are looking at it, and very rocky, obviously. This place here I do find really cool, so this is marked and I'm gonna look at it. But yeah, small bad indie streamer. And I never show Google Maps. It's quite literally I throw on my stream and then I just stream cities for the rest of the stream, never change my source to anything. So changing sources back and forth is new to me. And when CJ also had a suggestion, Cape Horn. We're catching up. But which one do you mean? In Chile or in Washington? Because preferably, again, if we can find places in the US, then that would make my life a lot easier. Because places like these, I will not get high quality data from, right? It's just as simple as it is. Yeah, looks amazing. I love it. A bit too flat. Because mountains are really something that looks hilly and already quite mountainy. You put it into the game, it suddenly looks quite flat. This will not have enough elevation for what I want in game. It's not gonna be as dramatic as I'd like it to. The entire area though is super interesting. This would be very close to what I'm thinking about. Wholeheartedly, this looks amazing. This is very close to what I have in mind. I'm gonna also... Can we not click this? I guess we're just putting our own marker. But yes, we want a place mark here, because indeed great place. I'm gonna remember this. Same issue though. This is in the middle of nowhere in Chile. I will not get proper data here, right? So the problem with these very rural suggestions is that, yeah, again, we will not get the proper data we would like to. I'm gonna try catching up with the suggestions in chat and remember most of them. Oh, also I'm adding these to the wrong list, but doesn't matter, I can do that later. Is this where you wanted to send me? This also looks amazing. I have to admit, yes, amazing. I'm gonna have to have a look at that later, because maybe also Chile government is collecting high quality data that I can fetch, but I don't know. And if I cannot get the data, it's no help to me. But yes, these places look stunning. Really great suggestions, Jay. Like all of this. This is 10 out of 10. This is quite literally what we're looking forward to. Like small place, river in the middle area. This is 10. This is exactly what I want. Only problem is I doubt I will find the data here, but otherwise 10 out of 10. Amazing suggestion. This is the vibe I want. If this would be a tad more dry and this would be in the US, then this is exactly what I want. Oh, really? What do you mean? Your map goes only to the buildable area. Hold on, I'm gonna put the heat map site into the chat for you, James. This is a website that you can make the low quality things with, and it's great to see this, to have an idea of the cut, right? Really good suggestion. Sadly, we need more US suggestions, and I need to have a picture of your map, Rezara, after what just said. That is really, really funny. Iceland of Sky in Scotland. So many good suggestions, but guys, listen to me. We need places in the US. This is the data I need. I don't think I will get good data in other places. And even in the US, we can only use the places that are red, right? Everything this is white, I will not find sufficient data on. I'm gonna look at all of these as well. Because yes, you guys make some great suggestions. Again, this, on the first feeling, yeah, no, actually this is not too flat. This looks 10 out of 10 again as well. This, exactly same vibe as what we just said. High mountains, little buildable area in between, a small river through the middle. That is perfect. This is quite literally what I want. Great suggestion. Amar, but again, I don't think I can get high quality data here, and I showed this so much, but I'm also gonna show it again because it does really matter to understand this. Amar, the reason I say I want only US maps is that this is how normal low quality maps look like if the data is not amazing, right? And then if we can find really high quality data, this is the level of detail we're getting. I think this visually looks so nice by itself that I really, really care about getting good data of the places. And the easiest place that I get good elevation data from is in the US. So preferably US suggestions. I'm sure I can look around on other places as well and see if I can find good elevation data. But it's gonna make it a lot more complicated, and I'm gonna have to search a lot more, and especially since I'm just getting set on it, I would love to stick to the US at first. Yes, this looks stunning. I very much agree. Again, you're showing me really good places. With this, I could even imagine that in Scotland, I would maybe find good elevation data. I don't know if I would. Here, it already gets too flat for me. This is already not... I'm just moving around crazy. But yes, this really... I think by now you guys understood what I'm the most interested in. I want those small holes in the hill. This is what I would like to take it from. I would like to take it literally from the US government, which this is their download site, because they allow me to get 1 meter accuracy in all of the places that are marked red right now, right? And if we get those 1 meter accuracy ones, then it will look amazing in game. Absolutely amazing. So there is other places, of course, right? Like there is links for New Zealand, and then in Canada there is a good place as well. I put in my Discord. In fact, if you're interested, you can look in my Discord in the map stuff channel, and I think I quite literally linked it in there earlier after Gaga asked where there is data, because there is a post on the modding Discord where they link a lot of the data sources. The thing is, I care about this. Okay, Poplar, actually, hold on. I need to prepare something first before I switch. But I need to show Poplar the quality difference, because I was talking to Poplar about why he needs to start using the same high quality terrain data. So I'm gonna jump in the game real quick. And also hold on real quick. I need to check up on chat real quick so I don't forget something. I need to copy and paste the Utah Badlands just so I don't forget about it. But yes, I want to check that out because I have not yet. Grand Tetons, I've been there myself. I don't know, that's been like 20 years ago, so I don't remember too well how it looks. Please remind me of the Grand Tetons if I don't remember it. I just want to show Poplar real quick. Because look, Poplar, this is a shitty terraining map, right? Some of them are good, some of them aren't bad, right? Like this is not the best example, and it is a bit unfair because some of the terraining maps look more decent. Let's take... also not the best example. Let's take something that gotten quite good. This is a fairly solid terraining map. And now I'm gonna take a map that is made with Topographer. This is Topographer, already looks quite a bit better, I think, as you can see in accuracy, right? But it's still not nowhere near as accurate as what you're gonna see now. This is a proper, well-made map with 1 meter LiDAR elevation data. And do you see this, Poplar? Do you understand why I say I need places where we can get high quality data from? Because this looks so goddamn stunning. It is sad, but yes, the problem is if you don't have enough data, it's quite literally what happened here. Because here is a border of Colorado where we don't have any LiDAR data anymore. I could have rechecked that before making the map. I didn't. So I rendered this, and then I seen, oh goddamn, we're missing some of our area. But honestly, really good. And it's an ad break, so I'm gonna have a quick look at the places you suggested while the ad break is running, so I don't forget. Great suggestion. Too little water. I mean, yes, this is actually. This is not bad. And I'm gonna have to catch up in chat real quick because I've been missing much, I think. I don't want anything to do with the US, Gaga. It's just that they have good data. What can I do about it? I would prefer building in Chile, but Chile does not provide me with the fitting data I need, so what can I...
That's what she said!
Just not anything I can do. You can, in my Amor, it is quite literally in my Discord. If you go into my Discord and you go into the map channel and you click on the pins in the map channel, that has the tutorial that I've been doing this with. You will need QGIS, it's called. It's a map program that is very intimidating and complicated at the start, but the tutorial is amazing and well done. So I managed to do it. I have 2 brain cells, so I'm sure you can manage it as well. And this area is amazing. Really good suggestion. Really, really good suggestion. The only area, or the only thing I'm missing in this area a little is more water. Because yes, we have this, but I cannot let an outside connection run from there. I'm gonna save this to have a better in-deep look at this later, but I can. I tried to update my water in Los Vagos without problems. All of my custom water sources have been an issue, so I will have to go in and delete all of the water sources that I placed custom, but all of the map water sources worked instantly. A single click, no problems, no struggle. I'm just not really diving back into Los Vagos till the Sims from Sully and some other things are fixed, so we're just gonna look at map stuff for now. But yes, really cool suggestion. And then I think there was somebody else who had a good suggestion after it that I missed. The Grand Tetons. Okay, there, yeah, I nearly forgot it. Yeah, I very much agree, Andy. Great suggestions. This is an amazing place. No, I don't have a sea. I only have river, but from my understanding, river is actually more complicated to convert. I've been watching multiple people on stream converting their saves, and the seawater sources have been a problem for nobody. So very curious that you're saying it's been a problem for you. Actually, I love this. Amazing place. I have quite literally had one of my coolest experiences ever here. Let me find see if I can find it. I was, as a kid, I was in holidays with my parents, and we were here hiking, and we were camping on this side, I believe, and there was a forest fire. It was crazy. I think it must have been the other way around. I think we were on the side of the Grand Tetons, and the forest fire must have been on this side. I have never seen gigantic trees burn as quick as here, and it felt really crazy because the lake is in the middle, so we were safe from the fire, right? Nothing to worry about, but it was relatively close to sea, and I was in awe as a kid because, I don't know, trees of 50-meter heaths burn off in maybe 10 seconds due to the heat of the rest of the fire around it. So crazy, honestly. And this is, again, really good. I think this lake might even be so big that we can cut it on and pretend it's a fjord or an ocean and get an outside connection in. This area, as well as this area back here, look really good. And this, I'm fairly sure we will get elevation data from. We're in Wyoming. I think Wyoming has full coverage. I'm gonna save this. This is a really good suggestion. Thanks, Amar. Let's have a real quick look. If I would be better at geography, I could have found it already, but I am not. Am I blind? Oh, here. Yeah, Wyoming has literally 100% coverage. I can try that. I will definitely try that. I have really... This is a perfect idea. Don't use Topocrafter. Topocrafter, after everything I learned now, Topocrafter is an absolute noob trap. Because Topocrafter is also complicated in comparison to terraining. If you use Topocrafter, you're doing 80% of the complicated work you would have to do using QGIS natively. But you're taking 90% of your freedom and possibility that you gain with QGIS as well. So don't use Topocrafter. I use Topocrafter myself because it's so highly recommended and talked about in video tutorials. But after looking into it a bit more, don't use Topocrafter. Not a good idea. I mean, no water there in real life is not the biggest problem, right? Because water is one of the things we will definitely have to do by hand anyways. So not having water is not the biggest problem. What I have never done a map, so for me it would probably not. You can use Map Tiler. There's 2 different API keys you need. One of them needs a credit card, and the other one is just a free account. You get an API. Like, I have not put my credit card data anywhere. And I'm using terraining, so your information is not entirely correct. And my internet is really struggling today, I guess. Because Seribot says he's here, and he should have been here the entire time. Yeah, no, I love any wild shots. Like, I've looked at horrible places myself because I have no idea. In fact, I can show you how I was looking at places earlier. I was quite literally going here because I think this is a nice coast, and started right above the border of Mexico and quite literally went up the coast and just went through here and looked at everything and stopped at every place that I thought looks good, because I'm not great at Google Maps, right? So I'm going through... No, it seems to be my internet today. I don't know, my stream seems to have dropped out twice already, which not a good sign, but I don't exactly know what is going on. I'm sorry for that. Anyways, but yeah, no, keep any wild suggestions coming. Really, the absolutely amazing suggestion we had so far today was the Grand Tetons, or the Grand Tetons. That place is 10 out of 10. So wholeheartedly, I love it. But these kind of places is a pretty good vibe for what we're looking for, right? This has kinda everything we want. Preferably, we want what we have here, and we want... This is just a creek. I would prefer if this would be an actual river. But this is really nice, right? This would quite literally be what we want. Now the problem is, I think that also California... Oh, actually I take everything back. I was gonna say California has bad data. But California has really good data. That would also work perfectly fine. So this actually is gonna get marked as a place as well. Yeah, no, sorry. It seems to... I don't know why, because I'm not dropping any frames. It's like my internet is hard cutting. Like, just both times, like, even my Google Maps cut out entirely. But, yes, these places here actually look quite good. Again, if this would be a road and a river, the canyon a tiny little bit wider, then this would be exactly what we're looking for. I hope you guys get the vibe I'm after by now, because it's not gonna get super much more interesting. I'm not sure if Poplar is still here, because if so, I'm gonna go back real quick into in-game, because I do want to look at all of the maps I made real quick with you guys as well, just because it's interesting. Sadly, these are all problematic, because they are too high. This is one I did for Gaga, I think. Because Gaga suggested a place for me. And I actually do think that one turned out pretty nice as well. It's a bit too big for what I wanted. This would be a bit like the place that Jay suggested earlier, where I said the canyon is too big, right? Really pretty map, really interesting. Has this amazing big open fjord, and then has all of this area here. The issue is this is gigantic, right? This is literally like all of the playable area. If we take a, I don't know, again, we take one of the signature buildings. Those help me the most to understand how big areas are. Look at how small this is, right? So you could build an entire gigantic city in here. It's more space than I would like to have. Otherwise, if this would be a bit smaller, this would be really close to what I'm looking for. So nearly the perfect suggestion, but not quite, just because it's too big in buildable area. And then this is again probably my favorite place out of all I had so far. I think this map is incredibly interesting, because it has a few different of these small places, right? Where here you could build a small city, here you can go through a bit, and then same through all of these. This is very much what I'd like to build on. Well, the issue is exactly what I've been trying to show you guys, why I've been showing you guys the high quality map so much this day. Even in this, and this is a lower quality map, that the terraining tools in Cities Skylines don't allow you to be this accurate. It's not a thing. You cannot terraform like this. No matter how long you try, you will not manage to get the... What is this? The heck? What is this? Guys, what is this? Why do I have a weird invisible bar in the editor that I can drag back and forth? Oh, it's this. Okay, actually, 10 out of 10, the editor is in beta, I guess, because even if it's hidden, you still have this and you can drag it back and forth. No, we're not saying goodbye to Los Vagos. Quite the opposite. We're looking forward to Los Vagos, but Los Vagos is kinda still on cooldown to wait on all of the mods to finally fully be patched, and then I want to play again. I don't want to have to deal with unfinished stuff right now, so I'm just waiting. And the truth is, I also always wanted to make a map, and right now, since we're not playing in Los Vagos, is a good moment to look in it. I'm gonna look at that real quick. Because yeah, that's a great idea. Like if you just post spots in Discord, that's easy for me to check back up on. So gladly. Why is he asking for this? Yes. I actually think we looked at many Vadis. I think maybe we've even seen this, but I don't think it's the exact one we've been looking at. I'm gonna bring this over to Google Earth, because I personally prefer Google Earth. Amazing area, yes. I spend a lot of time in Jordan and areas around it, because I agree, I quite literally have this place. I had it marked, I don't think it looked good. This one I thrown away again, but I tried it out. But yes, I spend a lot of time in this area looking at places, because the vibe of this is 10 out of 10. I agree with you, great suggestion. Sadly, I will not get high quality data here, but otherwise this would be amazing, because yes, we could probably bring a lake or a river through here, and then this has exactly what we're looking for. So really nice suggestion. Now find the same in the US and I will be perfectly happy with what you suggested. And guys, I'm so bad. I keep forgetting to switch between Google Maps and the game. That's totally on me. Because yes, I was looking at this. Again, totally my bad, but amazing place. Great suggestion, Amar. This looks super cool. Quite literally has everything I want beside the water, but it has so much space that we could bring the water through this by yourself without any problem. Again, only problem is this not being in the US. If this would be in the US, this would be 10 out of 10. Because really, the terrain is amazing here. And again, I looked at a lot of the coast of Jordan, because Jordan has a lot of nice places here in the coast as well. Especially, I think, if we go a bit further down here, yeah, here is where it gets really steep. This is absolutely amazing places. Again, sadly, I think, because I'm new to this, I would like to stick to the US for the start. But vibe-wise, amazing suggestion. This is really close to what I'm looking for. Yeah, actually, I should make that. Because I think we're gonna have more streams like this in future, where we'll look more at Google Maps and map stuff as well. So yes, good idea. I should actually make a sound so you guys can scream at me and tell me to change my scene. I will play Los Vagos soon again, don't you worry. Like, Los Vagos is fine and healthy and everything is okay. It's just that I need a different project for the future, because when we're done with Los Vagos, I actually want to start a new save, right? And making this map is going to take me a long time. So the earlier we start with it, the more we're going to have available. But I'm not going to be there anytime soon. But yes, this area is so funny. You send this, Amor. Because I quite literally imported this. Like, I have a heat map of this area, for example. Which turned out pretty shit, so it's not loaded into the game right now anymore. But I still have it in my computer, and I spent a lot of time flying around these places here, because the vibe of this entire area is really good. Now again, only challenge to find me something like this in the US. And then if you find something like this in the US, then you make me very happy, because the vibe is perfect. I'm the opposite as you. I already find this. I would like a smaller map mod. I know I'm silly, and it's part of why I'm saying I want so little buildable area. I think maps are too big already, the vanilla maps. I would never want to install a bigger map mod. And I've literally no interest in that. But yes, I'm sure eventually we'll get that. Yes, of course, you still get better data and more control and everything, so yes, I would say so. I'm just being picky because I want a meter, right? Even at 2 meters is gonna be way better than what TopoCraftWork can offer you, right? Like, it's really just me being super picky. I'm still very tempted by this area, not gonna lie. This really has been a great suggestion. I think I'm gonna try to make a few maps of this. And we're gonna have a look at this area in game the next time, because this is so good. Yes, but the problem with that, Gaga, is also, you know that I already have a quite weak computer for cities. A bigger map needs a lot more computing power, right? So I would just hurt myself and my game runs worse, right? I would agree if I have a really good computer, then sure, I have a gigantic map and just that. But I also think that something people are forgetting with those gigantic maps is that the game is not intended to get played that big, right? So I'm fairly sure that you will have weird negative impact on your simulation as well, just because the distances suddenly get so far, right? People will drive multiple days just to get to work or to a different neighbor city. And I'm fairly sure that that will have weird side effects as well. And at least so far from what I'm understanding, on the bigger maps, you always have to stretch. You have to stretch the heat map. The game cannot import bigger heat maps than what you can do. So on the bigger maps, you basically just take the data of a small map and stretch it. It's like if you go into Photoshop and take a picture and make it bigger by 200%. That picture is not gonna look as pretty anymore, right? Yes, it's bigger now, but it also has a lot more pixels. And that behaves very similar with maps, right? You cannot just get more data out of nowhere. Basically, you're just stretching that data, so I don't think it's that interesting, to be honest. But this place really has me in awe. Because it has everything I want. It has a big water connection, it has a terrain, it has interesting different buildable areas here. And we can bring a rail in here somehow. I mean, 5 meters is still pretty decent. And in Canada, you find really good data as well. I already looked at that. Again, Shane, if you're interested in that, look in the map thread in my Discord. I forwarded a thread from the CSM Discord, where all of the data sources are in there, where people have been collecting different government sources that have good data. So I'm sure you find something there as well. This is also an interesting place. This entire area is really good, honestly. That's fair. I mean, I get a wish for a bigger map, but then I'm just saying, for me personally, it's not tempting me. With my playstyle, I need multiple years to finish a single map. If I make the map even bigger, then I will just need even longer. Why did I not look at this area before? All of this is amazing. There is so much cool stuff here. Such a good recommendation. Wholeheartedly, thank you so much. Great idea. I've got to spend a bit of time to look around here later, because honestly, there is really a lot of nice places here. This is starting to be a bit too flat, but quite surprisingly much water for how dry the rest of the landscape looks. So I don't mind. Yeah, no, I also think it really just depends on your own playstyle, right? Like, somebody who I really enjoy watching on Twitch, and I'm gonna give him a shout out, but is Jonah, who, well, I don't think I can shout him out if he's not in here, I never know. Yeah, no, I guess I can't if he's not watching, but Jonah, I'm sure most of you know him. He plays on absolutely gigantic maps, and he builds gigantic sprawled cities with zoning. I generally don't enjoy zoning, but in that scale, it makes total sense and looks amazing. And I very much enjoy watching that. Is that how I would like to play the game? It's absolutely not. I don't think I would have fun doing that. Do I enjoy the others playing like that? Absolutely. Oh, this is really cool as well. This is quite flat, but it's so interesting. I don't even mind it. The river is too small. We cannot use boats here. If we would have not just had bridges and ports, I would say this is an amazing spot. Because we just had bridges and ports, I don't think this one cuts it for me, sadly. But yes, wholeheartedly, great suggestion. What is the best coast area if I look for dry coast in the US? Really is pretty much just California, right? Everything else here, this is super green. And the other coast is also pretty much green all over. I guess this is not green, but this is flat, so not much help for us either. Nah, this is all too flat. And my internet is really shit today. I keep dropping frames, guys. I don't know what's up today with my internet being so bad. I'm very sorry for that. I'm gonna look at that right now. You gained a lot of trust after you suggested the Grand Tetons, and I liked it so much. I assume this is not where you wanted to go, because you just said close to LA. This cannot be correct. Oh no, Port Angeles. Okay, never mind. I thought you meant LA, but yeah, no, never mind, this is correct. This is really, the terrain of this is right correct. Yeah, I see it. I just read too quickly, so I miss it. My issue with this is not that it's green, because I think the climate I can change. My issue is that this has no, how do you call it in English? No corrosion. I think especially in those dry places, you see a lot of open corrosion in the mountains. I think this will look, even if you put a desert theme on it, this will not look like deserty mountains. This, meanwhile, if we go a bit further here, where we have more open rocks, this would totally look like a dry place as well, right? So it depends. It does not have to be dry, but I care about the mountain texture being believable in dry area, if it makes sense. I don't really know how to explain that, right? Alright, Shane, thanks so much for tuning in. To be honest, today is gonna be a very short stream. I was just excited to share a bit what I've been doing lately and what we've been learning and looking into, but I will have to work quite early tomorrow as well, so I'm gonna not stream very long today because I started so late. But yes, stunning area, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I'm also not 100% on I have to play in a desert, right? If you find a place that I absolutely love and wholeheartedly, this is a pretty place, then I'm sold on it. I think what I don't like about this so much is that the area between the harbor and this is a bit too deep. There is so much open, flat space here. This is already places for gigantic cities, right? So I think it's a bit too much for me. Alright, triple goodbye by Shane, by Andy, and by Gaga. Have a good night, all three of you cuties, and thanks for tuning in. Again, you're not missing much today. It's more Google Maps stream than anything, to be honest. And I'm a bit bummed because I preferred a lot more nice places, but then I found out how much data matters, and a lot of the good places we found are now irrelevant and we have to search again. It's a bit sad because the US really in the coast has less nice places to offer than I would like. And in the end, I was really thinking we should build in the coast. But the more I look at the coast, the less interesting I find them. In a few areas here, actually, this is very interesting terrain. I've been over this multiple times now, but there is nothing. It's just space for a highway, and then yeah, if you wanna live right next to the highway, sure you can, but it's not any proper buildable space for anything, so I don't think this is too interesting. Very sadly. Because again, the most interesting maps we had mostly at the hillside. The Frisco one, where I sadly cannot get full elevation. This one I also really enjoyed. This map is very broken and shitty quality, so don't take it too serious, but the terrain in this is amazing. With a river through here, then the big lake in the middle, and then the river flowing through here. This would be super interesting and cool to build on. I cannot get good data from this, sadly. This would have been in the US, and the only other US place we have is Parkour Strip, and I don't like it so much. I've looked at it. It isn't. Sadly, it isn't. I looked at that city because yes, that city looks great. You are really, you understood the vibe I'm looking for. It isn't anymore, and I don't know how sources in Mexico look, sadly. But yes, that area, the northern part of Mexico at the coast is beautiful and very close to the vibe I'd like. Like really very close to the vibe I like. Which also is very close to the vibe I like, where quite a few of the places we have here are from is Italy. The Italian coast, especially close to Sicily, has many stunning places. So all of that is great. I would assume that in Italy I might even get fairly good data, but I don't know yet. But these kind of places I think are really beautiful as well, where you have those mountains in the back. These mountains I find a bit more boring than some of the others, because they're quite similar in terrain here. So we have more others that are quite a bit more interesting than this. But yeah, it's difficult. And this one is one that I looked at for a long time as well. Because it would be something very different ones than the other ones I had, but very fitting and interesting for bridges and ports. Because most of the playable area would quite literally be water. But then you have a little bit buildable area on this side, and you have a little bit buildable area on this side. So a smaller town here and a bigger town here. And then obviously bridges and ferries in between, which I find quite interesting as well. In general, this also been a very cool, this time I remember to switch the source. This been a really cool place. I added all of them to this, which I shouldn't have. But this area is, in general, really cool to look at. Why is my internet so bad today? I don't understand. Like, even Google Earth is struggling to load in. But yes, I spend a lot of time to go up and down the coast here. And this really has been an absolute highlight for me, just because of the cities in both sides. I think this is lovely, and it has a lot of terrain, and it has these both spaces for building, and then this open waterfront. Also something that I find really interesting. It does not have to be canyony and a river. This obviously is also something that would be super tempting. Sadly, again, most of the good places we found are not in the US, so we are probably not gonna take any of these and have to do the research. But also be invited in case any of you is gonna... Holy shit!
My God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Welcome in, cuties! Welcome in, Moose and gang! Hope you had a nice stream today. Did you actually start a new city today? I've only had time to watch the very start of your stream, and you are gonna be in trouble if you did so. You did! Okay, you went... I'm actually quite happy to hear that. But welcome in. In fact, today my stream is very weird today. We are not yet back in Los Vagos, but we're doing real-life research for a future city, because we've been doing a lot of weird things, loading heat maps into the game and having a look at what we can imagine working on in future, which is weird and very untypical for my streams. I don't usually spend a lot of time on Google Maps. Today I spent more than 50% of my stream on Google Maps because we've been looking for stuff. Moose, I'm excited. I learned how to make high quality. Also, thank you so much for the sub, cutie. I learned how to make high quality maps. Ignore the big hole in the middle. Look at the quality of this, Moose. Can you see how fucking amazing the quality of this terrain looks here. I've showed this 1,000 times today in stream because I am so excited. I educated myself. I finally learned a bit of QGIS, and I'm still at the beginning. I have a lot to learn and more to look into. But we've been looking at maps, and I have a lot of low quality maps because we were just looking at places. But sadly, after I learned this, we will have to find new places because I need places where I can find data that's this good looking, because I'm not willing to look. This is a good high quality map, and now I'm gonna load a low quality map for you just so you have the direct after and before example. It's still okay, right? Like, it's not like this is suddenly awful or something, but is it as pretty as the other one? Nowhere close as pretty as the other one. Like, I don't hate it. It's fine. I don't mind. But after I've seen the other one, I don't think I can live without it anymore. I wholeheartedly I don't think, and it's sad because I found some really good places. I really was kind of sold on playing on this map next because I love this. I'm generally looking for very little buildable area. No, I'm not starting a new city. I'm starting.
I wish we had a
I'm
cactus.
starting a new long-term project to have a follow-up after Los Vagos. I'm gonna get a hydrate I currently take because my mouth is dry. Thank you, Jello. But yeah, no, we're starting a long-term project on the back where I learn to make maps. I look at areas. Like, the first few weeks are just gonna be looking at Google Maps, right? The amount of different things I've looked at in Google Maps is absurd. Then I load in low quality maps into the game to look at how I like them in the game. And then when I found low quality maps that I like in the game, then I'm gonna go out and search if we can make high quality maps. The one thing I learned so far is sadly that I think for the ease of me and learning at the start, I'm gonna stick to the US because the US has the best leader coverage where I can get data easily, which is a bit sad because I kind of wanted to build in Peru or Bolivia or in some crazy beautiful place. Obviously, those places are a bit more difficult to get very high quality data, and one of my lessons so far has been I need to stick to areas that are red on this map, because then I can get very high quality data and can make a really high quality map, and that takes away a bit of freedom of choice. And I'm very sad because probably my favorite two places in the US visually is here in Nevada, is in Arizona, and is in Colorado. And all three of those places have very shitty data coverage, sadly. Actually, very much sadly. But we're finding places. We had somebody today, Amar, recommended, and it's an amazing place. Amar recommended Great Tetons. Yeah, I also, like, obviously I'm not a fan of the US. I think if you listen to my streams, it's fairly easy to tell. But architecture-wise, I don't think we have enough in the US right now. So, really interesting. But this place, for example, Moose, a city here? Do you see that? Because I only care about the terrain. I really only care about the terrain. I don't care about any city, any road layout, any rail layout. I can do all of that myself. I just want a good terrain base. This is really close to what I would like to. Because you have very little space for like small cities here. You're right at the water. I think I could maybe cut the river in a way where this back here is cut off and could function as outside sea connection as well. So I'd have to play around a bit. Denver is beautiful. I like Denver. You will have a lot of fun, comrade. What brings you to Denver? Oh, well, I guess ad break for you cuties, so wrong question to ask. I also, just because, well, I'm gonna wait till the ad break is over, but I need to show Moose some amazing Canadian places as well, because I have a few Canadian places that are really hot as well. Oh, nice, nice. I nearly moved to Denver for a year in the past. Well, yeah, I guess you're sub, so I can show you this. For example, I'm sure you as a Canadian are familiar with what I'm showing you right now. This entire area of Canada is a gold mine. An absolute gold mine. It has these wide valley through here. Fairly little buildable area, a bit more than I would like to be honest. But it's stunning. I even have this in game. These areas also look really cool in game. Again, the quality of these is fairly low for now. But look at Summerland, for example. Would this not be an amazing map to play on? Obviously, you need to clean this up a bit for in-game to build a bit more buildable area. But look at it. Look how stunning this is in-game. And then especially if you get high quality maps of this. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, so curious. Then for you, I guess this is like a second home. I'm sure you've been there multiple times in real life then. I think Canada would also be okay with data sets, but I have not had enough time to look into it yet, so I'm not entirely sure. And then I had another one, but I think I kicked it. Yeah, I know. I love deserty areas, to be honest. I think I'm gonna turn everything into desert. If the mountains are believable for it. But this area here in New Zealand as well, beautiful. I'm loving these. The combination I really love is very high mountains, very little buildable terrain, and then a river or a valley through the middle. And then there is so much natural inspiration in a map like that. It's gonna build itself. It was way more difficult to build Los Vagos than any of this will be in future. So holy god, interesting. But yes, now the problem is that I feel like because of easy access of data, I should mainly build in the US, and in the US, it gets difficult if you want a pretty coast that is dry. There is not that much, and the places I found are not as amazing. Something like this is not. It's not bad. I don't dislike it. This actually is quite cute, but I'm struggling because so many of the nice places I found I would have loved to build on, but then I can't find high quality data there. So now we're starting from square zero knowing what data we need, and now we're going on a hunt for a new perfect spot again, which again a bit sad because I thought I have perfect places. Like, look at some of the places I found, Moose. Look at this. How cool would this be to build on? Have this bottom area here for a city, and then do you see this? Have you ever seen something? What in God's earth is this? I could not believe it when I seen this the first time. The entire side of this hill is quite literally this. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I would love to build on this. Again, we have the map of this in-game. It looks absolutely amazing in-game. I will not get good enough data for that place again as well, but just to show you how amazing some of these places are. Look at this. Like, even in-game, obviously there's no ocean. I'd have to build that and craft that properly. No water or anything yet. But even just a bare bone, low quality map, so inspiring. Because imagine the city you build up here, and then honestly, I'd steal what they do in real life as well and bring the road down here in the hillside. Stunning. Again, I'm a bit heartbroken that many of these places will not allow me to get data good enough, so we have to recheck again. But some of these places were absolutely overwhelming. This as well. Look at it. Here the map is broken because this is so high that quite literally we reach the top of Cities Skylines map editor. I'd have to re-render this map a bit lower. But everything that's higher than here gets cut off, so this looks really ugly. But it's just to get an idea of the area. This would also be so hot. Quite literally, see outside connection here with this protected laguna behind it, and then the city here below the hill. I want something in a similar vibe, but now we have to find something like that in the US, and I am lost. Like, if there is people in chat right now that have been looking at the places I've been showing and think of a good idea that is similar in the US, please hit me. Because I've been trying. I'm not super successful yet. This area is also really beautiful. And I don't know what's going on. My internet is really bad today. I'm sorry if I'm lagging, but my stream literally cut out twice or 3 times already without me knowing why. But this looks amazing. Are you loading into the editor on your full playset, Elgando? Because don't load onto the editor or in the editor on your full playset. You need a light editor playlist. Because I can tell you one thing, the editor is super buggy. If I put more, you see the amount of maps here, right? If I put more maps than what I have currently in here, my FPS will drop really bad, because the way the editor does these thumbnails, this is not a thumbnail, this is quite literally a 4096 by 4096 pixel image scaled down to 20 by 20 pixels. They have not built a proper thumbnail system in the editor yet, which means if you drop 50 maps in here, your computer is gonna struggle every time you open this window, because he has to generate all of these things from gigantic images, and my computer went crazy mode every single time. one of the first lessons I learned when making maps and trying them out in game is don't put more than 30 maps in there or you will have an issue. That was even worse for me. No, Jay. The reason I have them this small is that this is better for my performance. If I make them bigger, my performance is gonna get worse. So sadly, not the solution. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really undecided. Like, I don't know. Especially now I understood that I have the freedom to make a map of kinda every place I want. It is both amazing and empowering, and I feel creative and enlightened. It's also overwhelming because goddamn, there is so many beautiful places I would like to build on. Like this, for example, this is in Norway, and this is all fjords, right? The ocean would be somewhere out here. So this would all be actual fjords. And then here, we would have buildable area, very little here on the outside. And then we would have this canyon here to build out. Stunning as well. My only issue with this is that I would like to have a rail connection. And in this, there is no possible way for us to build a believable rail connection in there, sadly. Otherwise, 10 out of 10 map as well. Like, even if you look at this in the real life location of this is even more stunning than it is coming across in that low quality map, because this is the place in real life which really you have the fjords here. And for me it's fascinating how dark the fjords are. It makes perfect sense because the sun does not properly hit in here, so it literally looks pitch black, like a shadow. But otherwise, look at it. This small city back here, it's quite literally the only public transport anything in this area has is ferry. You have these small ferry connections everywhere here between the places. And then you have this romantic, cute build-out canyon here. I love this place. Beautiful. Probably not a space I'm gonna settle for, because I don't want to give up on the desert yet. I kind of enjoy building in the desert a lot, even though I wouldn't like to live in the desert. But yeah, absolutely mad inspiring place. Like, so many of these places are really good. Even some a lot more. Have you? If so, please send images in my Discord of your trip. I would love to see that. Because wholeheartedly stunning. This also is a place I'm really excited for, sadly. Because Arizona's coverage is so bad. This is cut on. I think we're right. Where are we? I think we're right here. I think we're right here, actually. And here is where the LIDAR coverage ends. So I cannot get full-on complete maps from that area. Otherwise, this would also be an area that I would love to build in. But yeah, again, I just learned about the relevance of availability of high-quality data. So I will have to do another second round of research for good locations, because these sadly all don't work anymore, which is a bit sad because wholeheartedly this was my favorite place out of all of them. I was pretty much settled on the map already. This has everything I want. Little buildable area, a river through the middle, quite interesting and stunning terrain, but then these canyons that go deep into the inland where you can build very small places close to them. Perfect, but I cannot get data accurate enough, sadly. I wish I could, otherwise that would be perfect. I'm not sure, Elgando. I can check that out. But yeah, enjoy your trip, Karen. Sounds like a nice trip you have in front of you, so enjoy Denver. Probably if I would go to Denver, I would say it's a crime against humanity to not also head to the Rockies real quick and spend a day on a snowboard. But I'm no, not everybody's thing. But if I would get anywhere close to the Rockies, you could not get me away from a snowboard. But yes, if anybody has good recommendations inside the US to places that are similar in vibe to the ones we looked at right now, please hit me. This is the kind of vibe I want, but I need it in the US so I can get good data sets, and I'm not from the US. I traveled a lot in the US in the past, but my knowledge is nowhere near as good as from most of you guys, so gladly hit me with recommendations for places to check out that have water, that have a lot of terrain, little buildable area, and preferably a river, but it's difficult. Again, we've been looking a bit. I've gotten some good recommendations today on chat already, though sadly most of them were not inside of the US. Some of them were. This, for example, also been a really nice area up here. Where I've not checked yet if we have coverage here, but I think we have coverage here. What do you mean, strip of death? Why? Because it's so dangerous? I've never skied or snowboarded in the US, so I have no clue what's going on over there. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste that right away, Teddy. We're gonna have a look at it together. And I have to, in all fairness, I'm not looking for a generic cool map. There is many cool places, but I have very specific expectations of a map. So for example, I can right away tell you this has too much buildable area for me. The vibe of this is great because we have the high mountains in the background and we have a lot of water. So very much right vibe. But this is too much terrain. This is space for a gigantic city. I don't want space for a gigantic city. But maybe the area is good. This is a lot more what I'm thinking about. This actually is very cute. This might be too little buildable area because it's very steep very early. But wholeheartedly, I'm gonna put a place mark here to scout the area out a little more because the vibe of the area is great. Sadly too green for my taste, and sadly, especially in this site, too much open space. But now here we're talking. Now here we're actually talking. This is beautiful. If this would have a river and not just a creek, this would be perfect. I mean, Teddy, my Discord is always open to you. I have a map channel where I've been documenting my baby steps at learning map making, and I've been sharing a lot of places that I think are cool but not the right place for me. So if you look for inspiration, check out my map channel. I think I'm back. Yeah, my bad, guys. I don't know what's up. My internet is goddamn shit today. This has been the fourth time or something. I'm very sorry. It's annoying me more than you guys, or it's annoying both of us. to the same level, I guess. It's a pain. I don't know what's happening here. But Teddy, goddamn, this is perfect. The place you told me to look at, I don't love. This is quite literally exactly what I want. Little buildable area, very steep mountains, canyons through the middle with a river. This is perfect. This is literally, together with the Grand Tetons, this is the best place we've seen today. Only thing I don't like is this being so green. I don't mind it being green. We can change the vibe. I mind that the mountains look like they have a lot of corrosion, because especially in dry places you have a lot of corrosion. And I guess this does not really, so complicated. But if this would be a bit more dry than it is here, this is quite literally perfect. Like the description of this is in essence the map I want, because it's like river here, small river here. I love this wholeheartedly. I love this. Great suggestion. This is gonna, you guys are witnessing the start of a rabbit hole that we're gonna dive in for the next year. If you ask me in a year, if I finish the map I started working on now, I'm gonna tell you I imported 1,500 different heat maps into my game by now. I only have 150 nominees by now, but I cannot decide in between them. Yes, of course, I'm a bit all or nothing kind of person. So now we open this wormhole of looking at places and making maps. You can be sure that we're not getting out of this anytime soon. Sadly. So now, instead of suffering while watching me detail in the game, now you guys have to suffer while watching me scroll over Google Maps. But really, this place is amazing. I love it. Like, again, just a few meters further, next canyon that is really nice. Here, really little buildable area. Great vibe of this entire place. This is just down the road from what you told me to go to. We started here. Was it not here where we started? This is quite literally where I googled for, what did you even say? I forget it already. I just went down, you said Sandpoint, Idaho, so this is all still close to Sandpoint, Idaho. I literally just followed this river here down the canyon. Yeah, I should be back again, but this is quite infuriating. I'm very sorry, I don't know what is going on. I don't usually have internet problems. I'm very sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't usually have internet problems. I'm not quite sure why today is being so complicated with me. Is a bit infuriating, but sadly nothing I can do about it. But yeah, very sorry for my internet problems. It's also very curious because I don't usually have internet problems. I wholeheartedly don't get what is happening. Why it's that complicated today. And where exactly are we? Noxon. We should be able to find that. No, none of this is correct. Yeah, this is correct. We have coverage here. I'm gonna make a map of this. definitely a dirty one to have a look at it in game, and then if we like it, we might turn this into a high quality map. Because yes, this has... it's right in the middle of a hole. I hope this is enough data. I'm actually not quite sure if this is gonna be enough. We can recheck this. Hold on, over here. So we're gonna take... I'm not quite sure, because this is quite literally in the middle of a hole of data. So we might be able to get this. We might not be able to get this. I think we should be fine. Yeah, when I say dirty map, I mean taking terraining. I think terraining is great to get a quick, shitty, low quality map into the game. I think in comparison to a proper map that I learned to do in the last few days, it's not great, right? I showed this a lot today. I'm not sure if you were there earlier. This is a terraining map in quality, right? Sure, this looks alright. You can definitely start with this as a base. Then there is a middle ground that is, I guess, using Topocrafter, which already better than terraining. Not amazing, still meh-ish in resolution. And then there is a manual way where I sadly use a place where there is a bit of missing data, so we cannot use this. But this is how your terrain can look if you really, really high quality elevation data. After I've seen how good this can look, I cannot live with terraining anymore. I think terraining is amazing because it's really low effort and fast to take an area, get them into the game, have a look at it and see how it works. But I don't know, I started learning it yesterday. This is the first QGIS map I've done manually. I've done a few Topocrafter maps in the past, but I think Topocrafter is, I said that already earlier on stream, is like 80% of the difficulty of doing it manually in QGIS already. So, well, the question is what kind of data you use, right? That's partly why I said we need to stick to what we have available here. I'm using only 1 meter DEMs, right? So the best data available is LiDAR data, right? And that is what we want. That's also why I cannot do a map in any of these wide areas, because I cannot find 1 meter LiDAR data there. For everything, yes. 1 meter LiDAR data for the entire thing. Every map is gonna be like 15 gigabytes, roughly. Or at least what I downloaded is, I would show you, the problem is I would dox myself, because I have just my first name, so not too bad, but I have my first name in my file explorer and I don't really want to dox myself. So I cannot properly show you, but I quite literally am gonna offer you to walk you through it in a video call or something if you want to. Because, yeah, like, I'm still learning myself, so I think probably you should wait a week or two till I myself am a bit better at it, but I just followed the tutorial, this one here. Highly recommend, amazing tutorial here. From zero to hero, heat map. This is exactly what you're doing. Chance, yes, I followed this tutorial. Worked out great for me, really detailed, really complicated, really overwhelming when you do it the first time, especially all of the coordinate stuff and changing between different EPSG codes and all of that. Like, it is quite overwhelming and complicated if you do it the first time. But it worked. I did it the first time and that happened. Yes. I don't have it in game right now. For this, I don't have a world map. I did not make one for this yet. My issue was a different one. My issue was that again, I don't have a playable map for. I abandoned this project because I realized after rendering the world map that the coverage stops right here, because quite literally I keep forgetting to switch scenes, sorry. Sometimes I talk about things and you guys can't see them. It's only because I'm silly. But yes, the issue with what I was doing is where is it? Frisco should be somewhere here. But I was right at the corner of the coverage here. So I'm missing half of my world map. So I started to do it bad. What do you mean it's possible? I cannot follow. You just tried what? I would like to follow you, but I can't. But yes, what I was about to, or what I was saying is this, what you guys can't see. The reason I didn't keep working on this is that there is no LiDAR coverage here. And yes, there is a way how you could morph different data sets. We could try to find lower accuracy data here and then morph it together. That is somewhat complicated, so I don't feel comfortable yet, right? Eventually, yes, that is something we're gonna do, but for the first few efforts, I would like to have something that's more simple and easier. I guess so. I mean, I'm quite surprised because I think many of the big maps you see on PDX are made with terraining. I think you can see it. So yes, you can do that. I'm aware, but you also have to understand. I'm learning QGIS since yesterday, right? So you're talking to an absolute bloody beginner. What you're witnessing right now is the start of I learn how to do map arc. I don't even want to do maps, to be honest. I want to do a single map. I want to do one map that I want to play on. And when we done that map, I'm doing map arc, or arc is already over again. But when I look at PDX mods, all of the maps that are uploaded, and I understand why, because when I started to play CS2 a year ago, I looked at maps and I was like, oh my god, I just want one flat, giant plain with maybe a river, because any terrain was too difficult for me and I could not manage. So I get that for newer players especially, a lot of open space is what's wanted, and if you want a popular, successful map, then yes, you have to have a lot of flat open space. I personally don't want to build on that. I want the exact opposite. I want a very difficult map with a lot of challenge and things that have to work around. I don't know. I can only always say, for me, limitations quite literally mean creativity. I'm way more creative if I'm in a map like this, right? I look at this and I already know how my build looks like. I don't even have to use my brain for this, because the map itself kinda dictates how I build. So for me, it's really helpful to have a lot of difficult terrain to make my build easier and better. So Yeah, difficult, really. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to Rafterman a little about these things as well, because Rafterman, obviously, incredibly knowledgeable with all of this. And he is a super nice and friendly guy who's been answering some of my silly questions I've been having. So, again, ask me in a week or two, and eventually I wouldn't be against streaming QGIS for a stream or something as well and go over how to make a map. But would I do anything different than... Where is my browser? Here's my browser. Would I do anything different than in this tutorial? Not really. I think this tutorial is as amazing as you can make a tutorial like this. So I don't think I can explain it better than this. I think the best is to follow this, and if you have questions, then feel free to ask me. If it's a complicated question, I probably will not be able to help you, and I will tell you you have to ask Rafterman instead. If it's an easy question, I think I can probably help you. I can help you to get through the tutorial, because I've done a few by now. Sadly, both of the ones I did have missing data sets, because I did not know I can check the availability before, and I sadly love Arizona and I love Colorado, and both are sadly quite incomplete, but it's not that bad. Utah is nearly entirely covered, Wyoming is entirely covered, so I can definitely get it. Yes. Both of them are also seem like the most knowledgeable and helpful people in the CSM modding Discord to show about all of these kind of things. And honestly, if you have questions, please feel welcome to ask in my Discord. Part of why I stream these things, I streamed the editor in the past as well, and I don't even like the editor. I think I like to teach people how to do things. I don't even want to make maps. I want higher quality maps on PDX. I would be perfectly happy if I can just click add to my game and I have the perfect map and I like it and I'm happy with it. I'm not saying the maps on PDX are bad, quite the opposite. Most of them are going to be way better than what I could make. They don't hit exactly what I want to play on, so I feel like I need to make my own map. Would I be happy installing one? Perfectly. So in my dream scenario, I tell you, Teddy, hey, look at this location. I would love to build a map here, or I would love to build a safe here. Here is the LIDAR data. I download it all for you. Here is the base map. Now go and enjoy, make a pretty map on there that I can play on. I don't mind having to do it myself, but I just want to learn so I understand and then I can do it, but do I want to do it myself? Not really, I just want to play the game. It's the same with decals. I never wanted to make decals. I made 16 decal packs by now. I have 2 more ready in my computer. So I guess I'm not the best at staying out of things. I don't want to do because I'm too curious and I like learning things, but I don't plan on being a map maker in future. I'm planning on making my own map for the future. That's all I'm trying to do. And sadly, with a look at the clock, I think I also have to head really soon. Again, if anybody has a good idea, please, now is the moment, because I will spend off time at work or when I have a bit of downtime to look at places and to see the availability and maybe download some data sets. So please feel free to recommend things in my Discord or in my chat or anywhere, really. Any recommendation is very welcome for US maps with a lot of elevation, very little buildable terrain and water access. Yeah, but you say that, Teddy, but it's the same with everything. When I started to play the game, one of the first things I said is I never want to make a decal because I'm graphic designer and I don't want to do more of that in my free time. And then I did a lot of decals. Afterwards, I said I'm never gonna make surfaces. I have 2 surface packs on my computer that I could release. I never planned on making a map. I just really love the game. I don't know how to say it. I know the game is shit and it has many problems and there is many issues, but I don't know. I enjoy this game. It kind of reels me in and I keep getting stuck on it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not the best at sticking to my I don't want to do this thing. So who knows? Maybe I'll become a map maker on accident. I don't hope so. Because do I love working in QGIS? Not really. I think it's kind of annoying and painful. Do I love having that pretty beautiful heat map in my game later? Absolutely. It's goddamn stunning. But I think, especially because my internet has been so bad and it's finally being stable for a little, and because it's already nearly 12:30 here, I will have a look at somebody to raid and probably send you guys away. We will go back to Las Vegas eventually and have a look at how we're doing after the patch and everything. Our save is fine, it's a bit chaotic, and we're for sure gonna spend a lot more time on word map stuff in future as well. But for now, I think I'm gonna find somebody to send you guys over to. It's quite literally nobody playing cities that I follow. That is a rare case. I guess everybody is playing Arc Riders. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna send you guys over to Lishi. So, not cities. I hope you guys know and like Lishi. She often streams cities as well. I try to stay within category, but I don't know anybody of the people streaming right now, and I don't like to raid channels where I cannot guarantee that you guys are having a good time. So Lishi it is today. Thank you so much for all of you cuties for tuning in, and thank you so much for the raid for Moose, and thanks for all of the great suggestions I've been getting in chat for nice places that I can check out and have a look at. And also, again, Teddy, feel free to ask questions. Obviously, this does not only go for Teddy, but for anybody. If you have questions about map making stuff, maybe I can answer it already, maybe I can answer it in future, maybe I can point you to the right spot. But I'm trying to learn and I'm having a lot of fun with it, so if you want to tag along in that journey and learn together with me, feel happily invited. And with that, all of you cuties have an absolute wonderful evening, and I see you sometime soon.